Shalom Yasha'Allah. First and foremost, I want to get all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Kwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well. And peace and blessings to the hopeful elect that's pushing this great gospel in sincerity and truth. It's your brother Tazakai Yahweh from the Great Millstone, City Annapolis Camp. Coming at you another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And Lord willing, it be edifying. Got an article here from AmericanFaith.com. And it reads, food processing plants burning across U.S., threatening meat supply, right? And also, it's like I'm trying to tie two articles. They not too long, so Lord willing, not too long. So just bear with me. They definitely have some edifying information in it. So this article came out April 23rd, 2022, the year Yahweh Bashim Yashai turned it up. You got the image of the said fires, and it reads. There has been an outbreak of fires in food processing facilities across the nation in the last 6 months as food prices soar and supply chains are stressed to their limits. The fires began showing up regularly in the news after a fire closed a Tyson food meat processing plant in Kansas. The location was a primary beef processing location for the company in the U.S. supply chain, providing about 6% of U.S. beef. After the fire, analysis began speculating that the impact could drive up market prices for meat nationwide. Dan Norsini, part of the beef and poultry trading market, said the cattle market will likely respond negatively to the news of the fire. He said the long-term impact will depend on how long the plant stays closed, right? Because and that's the main reason why the price is going to be dried up, which we all know is systematically each trying to bring down the economy and so forth and so on, and pretty much to implement the NWO. But the main thing is if there's something present, but it's a scarcity of it, then the best way for them to make any type of revenue or make any money back for us to do what? Drive up the prices so that they make up versus what they were lost versus when they had it at a higher quantity to where they can get, they can make more money. But now, since there's going to be few things, right, the demand is high, but the supply low, that means what? They got to hike up the prices. So, and like I said, we understand that this is something being orchestrated, by man, but at the end of the day, these are the people, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked, as the scriptures say. So, hey, this is all fulfilling the will of Yahweh Bashim Shai as far as what he will do to pretty much bring their end. So it goes on to say, just days later, in August of 2021, the Patek meat processing plant burned in Atlanta. The media took notice because the family-owned business is beloved in its community locally, and its products are purchased nationwide. The fire in Georgia barely had a minor impact on the food supply chain nationwide, but in September, a fire at JBS USA, a meat processing facility in Nebraska, and we've been tuning in, we definitely have seen these things. Multiple elders and brothers, I myself, we have did lessons, warning the flock about these said, issues with these meat processing plants being either just shut down or being affected by the crown or, fires happening to them, right? It says, it says threaten the meat supply for the entire nation profoundly. The plant reportedly processes about 5% of the nation's beef, and closure would directly impact the supply chain, right? It says, and we understand that I just seen something where, probably even going back before, but I just seen an article that came out in 2018 about how the supply chain was disrupted and was, messed up then. So it could be even prior, and it's just getting worse and worse. And this is the doing of Yahweh Bashim Shai and bringing this man down, It says the trend has continued repeatedly through the end of 2021 and into 2022. So they call it a trend, They say in February, in February, Shearer's food processing plant in Hermiston, Oregon, burned down, leaving 2 employees injured. On April 13th, Taylor Farms food processing plant in Salinas, California, burned and prompted evacuations. On April 19th, the headquarters of Azor Standard Food Processing Plant in Dufour, Oregon, also burned. People are beginning to notice because the fires are threatening an already stressed supply chain of the selective supply chain of food in the U.S. Right now, here's somebody think it say Juliana. Another fire explosion at another food processing distribution center in the USA. A few days ago, it was Taylor Farms in Salinas, California. Just now, it was reported that Azor Standard in Dufaur, Oregon, has burned up. You'll see the emojis. What I should have said that the children of this world are wiser than the children of light. So Esau, they be they be peeping. I'm not saying this is either Mike, but I'm just saying, the children of this world is pretty much talking about who the other heathens. You know, like say I ain't gonna say other heathens because they are heathens. But also our people too can be in the heathenistic mindset as well. So you can kind of tie them into it, but ultimately as it stands, they are the children of this world, and we are the children of light because we are the children of Yahweh Bashim Shai. So it says these food processing plants are mysteriously combusting, right? The trend continues on March 16th. A massive fire wiped out much of a Walmart fulfillment center in Plainfield, Indiana. This plant right here that it's speaking of, I live about, I want to say, maybe 7 to 10 miles out from Plainfield. 'Cause I'm in Indianapolis and I stay about, not too long from it. I actually put up a short video on this particular plant because the debris from the explosion flew all the way to my home. And this plant was like, at least like, man, 20 to 25 miles, probably away, because it's a little bit farther back in the area. Could be like 20 miles away. And the debris, multiple debris, not just one thing, but it was all in the street, all in the yard, hit my car. So I actually, witnessed that. We was outside seeing this plume of smoke up for hours. So we actually, we seen that. Brother seen that. I put it in the group. And other brothers as well, so we actually witnessed that actually happen. It says the event was severe enough to warrant the ATF to investigate. Another incident occurred on April 11th at New Hampshire's East Conway Beef and Pork when the fire so large broke out that it took responders 16 hours to extinguish. At least 16 such disasters have taken place at food processing facilities nationwide, while most of the incidents have shown no foul play after investigation. The trend presents a curious string of events across the country. It remains to be seen what the direct impact will be, right? But we know what the impact gonna be. Like I said, they going with all these FFs, if you will. You gotta use, gotta be subtle. All these things going on is just going to generate them and move them and prompt them and give them pretty much leeway and ultimately the green light to, hey, here's a problem, but here's our solution. This is what we're going to do to stop these. This is what we're going to do to stop these things. That's what's going to lead to, like I said, the NWO. You know what I'm saying? This is them. This is how they can break you down, right? Because it's Henry Kissinger. I think it's something he said something like, making the food a weapon, so weaponizing the food, so to speak. So if they can control what it is that you get and what you eat, as far as the necessity that you need, then how much more easy it would be for them to sway the people to do what they want them to do. You get hungry, you gonna do whatever. So remember, hey, when Esau, he was hungry and famished, and he was about to perish from hunger. What did he do? Sold his birthright. So. And you understand what we receive now from him doing that, even though it's supposed to happen through the spirit. So just understand the measures that people will go through. You know what I'm saying? And like scripture say, for the pride of the cities, the people shall be troubled. For the pride of the people, the cities shall be troubled. And men shall be afraid. You know what I'm saying? Invading one another, you know what I'm saying? Robbing each other, spoiling each other, just, roughly paraphrasing, and destroying those and spoiling those. Why? For the lack of bread and tribulation. That's what's going to happen in those times that comes with these food shortages. It says, still, as the nation continues to face soaring food prices and trouble with supply chain operations, there could be a significant impact on the cost and availability of food for Americans. And then there was somewhere too, well, when I found it, but they said it was like up to like 2,000 containers just being held on purpose, just held away from the people. So, like I said, I don't want to, talk too much rambling. I'm going to try to get these because there's some decent points in both of these articles. So it says food shortage crisis. Dozens of food processing plants destroyed in fires accidents in recent weeks. Now this came out April 23rd, 2022, maybe the same day. And it may say some of the same things, but it's some points that I want to get out of here. And of course, year 2022, you hear the year Yahweh Shai turning up. It reads, dozens of food processing plants and warehouses have been destroyed by fires, plane crashes, or other curious accidents in recent weeks, representing a disturbing trend that falls outside the realm of coincidence. The latest incident happened in Covington, Georgia, when the plane crashed into a General Mills plant on Thursday, killing two people and destroying a number of trailers stored at the plant. The crash happened just before Fox News' Tucker Carlson was about to report on the curious spate of food plant accidents, leaving him flabbergasted at the apparent coincidence. What's going on here? You know, well, the story gets weirder. Food processing plants all over the country seem to be catching fire. A couple days ago, it says a fire destroyed the headquarters of, we just talked about that. A fire destroyed the headquarters of Azure Standard, one of the largest organic food distributors in the country, Tucker reported Thursday. The end of the, Slocky, what was that? Slocky, it says, the end of last month, a fire severely damaged a fresh onion packing facility in South Texas. In Oregon, a potato chip processing plant just reported a boiler explosion that sent workers to the hospital. He added, what the, you gonna read that, but it says, so industrial accidents happen, of course. But this is a lot of industrial accidents at food processing facilities at the same time. The president is warning us about food shortages, Carlson noted. So hey, put two and two together. It say, here's Joe Biden's last month predicting food shortages were coming as a result of Ukraine war, but how is what that plane crash got to do with the Ukraine war, or what about these fires and the explosion? What do those have to do with it? But it says, with regards to food shortages, yes, we did talk about food shortages, and it's going to be real, Biden said at a press conference in Belgium. Shockingly, nearly 20 U.S. food plants have been damaged or destroyed over the last year or so. Around the same time, supply chain breakdowns already began gnarling the U.S. food supply. Then came the war in Ukraine in late February, resulting in food costs reaching at an all-time high and supply chain issues worldwide. Now, here's one of the main points I want to get out of this. But never fear, because Bill Gates has bought up hundreds of thousands of acres of U.S. farmland across 19 states over the last several years, making him the largest private farmland owner in the country. So what does this mean? That means that this individual has ownership of these lands, and they belong to him. They're his property. That means what he says is gonna go by his say or his go ahead. If he allows plants to be grown there or not, he could just buy all this stuff and let it be property and don't let nothing get grown. You get what I'm saying? So, come on now. Gotta think. They talk about food shortages, and this and that, and supply chain disruptions. But ultimately, what the scriptures say, there shall be famines. Famines here, famines, all these, it's a famine, one of the main things in the scriptures as far as prophecy, that the Lord, even Yahushua HaMashiach himself said was going to come to pass. Lord, will we get that? So just imagine that this man owned this property. That means what? He say what can be grown and what goes in and what can go out. Man, he can buy all these places up and build facilities, houses, home. Well, he can build whatever he wants to. It could just be all farmland that's just bought up, and it's up to him what be grown there. But of course they want us to start eating, what's that impossible type meat, that Soylent Green type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it's just these just as devils, that's what we call them, man. They the devil that the Bible speaks of. They Satan in the flesh. It say, notably China has also been spending billions up buying up tens of thousands of acres of American farmland. Whether coincidence or conspiracy theory, these bizarre circumstances nevertheless add up to the same thing. Food shortages are likely coming, and billionaires like Bill Gates and hostile foreign nations like China stand to benefit. Right? Just like Apostle Tahar always bring up, I think it's Qui Bono, to whom it benefits, and we understand that this benefits the agenda of the the elites and the banker families to institute the NWO. But ultimately, this is prophecy coming to pass. And the funny thing is, right, I had this other article, right, and so at first I could use it, that's why the apostles say to strike when the thought coming to mind. So that's what I should have did. But there was this other article that pretty much said that not only regards to the fires that have been happening here in America in the past year or so, but also around the world. Like, stuff that don't really get reported to us. Man, there's multiple food processing plants around the entire globe that has had these circumstances being destroyed and stuff like that. And I had that article, and now they're saying, "Oh, well, to read this, you got to subscribe and all this and that." So Lord will, I can, find a way around that, and I can bring it out, through the Spirit. But hey, man, like I said, at the end of the day, man, prophecy gonna come to pass. That's the main thing. That's it. The Lord's word is going to prosper. As a matter of fact, before I get this, Isaiah chapter 55, verse 11. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, right? It's pleasing for the Lord to accomplish a famine to come to the world. Why? Because that's a part of his plan. You know what I'm saying? That's a part of, what he pleases. And it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. So wherever the Lord sent his word, whatever he sanctions, whatever he ordains, whatever he appoints, best believe it's going to happen. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. No matter what you say, or I don't like that, I don't believe that, it don't matter. It's going to happen in due season. But what I want to get right here is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11, where it reads, "Lest Satan," right? And this is talking about, should get advantage of us. We talking about the physical counterpart of Satan, Esau, Edom, the so-called white men, the ones that are in power and rulership, which we're going to get. It says, "For we are not," so let's he get advantage of us. So let's he can overthrow you or supplant you or, pull a fast one over you, right? Which ultimately the Lord, the Spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah, has to be upon you so that he don't. It say, "For we," because remember, also saying the spiritual demon saying, is employed and works for Yahweh Shema Shah in the left hand, right? So he gonna do what he gonna do, especially through his people, the Edomites. It say, "For we are not ignorant of his devices." So this is a part of his devices, and we're gonna get what devices go into, which is Noema, and devices go into a mental perception, a thought, an evil purpose. Right? That which thinks the mind, thoughts, or prophecy. So the main thing is an evil purpose. Esau Edom has an evil purpose that he's intended to do to the inhabitants of the earth. And one of those things is this. That's how we're not ignorant. Like the people saying, is it a coincidence? Is it a conspiracy? No, it's not a coincidence. This man is doing these things. You got to understand what the scripture speaks about this man being the wicked. Right? And what they say, because real quick, I said I don't want to make it too long, but just make these points, right? Malachi chapter 1, verse 4. "Whereas Edom saith, We are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places." Right? Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah host. Well, Salakia, that's talking about, during the Renaissance periods where they, came back into power, right? They was impoverished, but then they returned. They rebuilt those desolate places, right? Going back to the Renaissance. Saying, "Thus saith the Lord of hosts, Yahweh Shema Shah hosts, they shall build," right? And they did, right? "But I will throw down." So it's going to take Yahweh Shema Shah to throw them down. Nobody's going to be able to come against this man and their own strength to take this man out. No, Yahweh Shema Shah is going to take this man out. It's the reason why he gave them the blessing of the sword and the hammer of the earth and so forth and so on. Because why? Ain't nobody going to be able to stand against this man but Yahweh Shema Shah. So it says, "And they shall call them," repeat this, "the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever, righteous anger forever." He hates them forever. It'll never change. So, you got people like Vocab talking about the body of believers. Edomites can be saved too. No, they can't. No other nation can be saved besides the nation of Israel. And that's your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And your speckled bird whose seed line go back to Jacob or Israel. So, via the 12 sons. So that's the point. Edom is the border of wickedness. Now, Job chapter 9, verse 24. "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked." So the Lord gave the earth to the hand of the wicked. And look what the wicked has done. Completely destroyed everything. Turned everything upside down. Right? They can't say they didn't get a fair shot. The Lord gave them the earth. And what they have done, they destroyed. Kahala Yahweh Bashim Ashai Bashim Kakudash, 144. So it say he covered the face of the judge thereof, if not where, and who is he? And the only ones who have covered the faces, the only ones who made the Lord, Yahweh and his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, and the holy angels and the prophets and just the nation of Israel in itself as a different nation of people. Ultimately, white people, so-called white people, are the Edomites, who are the so-called white people. Ain't no other nation of people did that besides y'all. Y'all covered the faces of the judges through your iconoclasm, going back to what? The Renaissance, what we read previously in Malachi 1-4. But this is I say that to make these points because you gotta understand that this is all by design from Yahweh Hashem Shai. It says, This Daniel 4:17, this matters by the decree of the watchers and the man by the word of the holy ones to the intent that the living may know, right? So the living may know, right? Those who are ultimately, saying in this standpoint right now, of course people living, but those who have been brought to life within this truth, we understand. We are, like you say, revealed the secrets of the service of prophets. We understand, right? It say that that the living may know that the Most High didn't. We tell those who are actually alive, breathing. Like I said, even though they may be dead in the state and they may not get it at the point in time, but hey, that it say this that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. So that means what? The Lord is controlling men. He putting in their inward parts. He put in their mind as far as what they're going to do, right? And it says, and giving it to whosoever he will, and setteth it over the basis of men. So it's the Lord who give the kingdom, who give power, give rulership to whoever he will. That's why I read previously that the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. The Lord gave them the earth, right? To the intent that the living may know. So the people that may know, right? That the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. So ain't no free will. Everything is predestined through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Shah. And he give it to whomsoever he will, set up over it the basis of man, and the basis of man is in rulership right now, which is Esau Edom. So just making those points that man, it may seem like a coincidence. Oh no, it seems like a trend. Well, guess what? It's the Lord putting this spirit on this man to do these things, right? And of course, the Lord doing this work as well as far as bringing famines. But this man, this actually, hey, there's no new thing under the sun. This is not the first time that a man-made famine has been enforced. You know what I'm saying? This is just how things are being done. But we understand that it's from, Yahweh Bashim Shai. So, moving on, and that's what I want to make that point, So it's being known to all those, whether you receive it or not. Hey, the Lord is in control of all these things. So, now one that I wanted to get was, as far as these food shortages. This is 14. This is Ezekiel right here. I'm gonna start at verse 12. See, look, it say the city will not be spared, right? And this happened to us in past times, but guess what? Now who's in power? Who's in power? Who's in the rulership? Who's over the city? Who's over Jerusalem, right? Because we have people before we have place. Who over us, right? Esau, Edom, right? It says. Ezekiel chapter 14, verse 12, the word of the Lord Yahweh Shai came again to me, saying, Son of man, when the land sinneth against me by transgressing grievously, right? And we understand that it's not talking about the land itself, but the people who are running the land, who's over the land, right? Especially Edomites, And then Jake sinning and transgressing as well, but we just, saying, talking about those who in power, right? They say trespassing grievously, right? They don't uphold none of the laws of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Hey, they don't even do a land Sabbath that's in the scriptures as a law. They don't even do that. But they say this, then will I stretch out my hand upon it and will break the staff of the bread thereof. Meaning what? The Lord's going to pretty much take away the food. He's going to bring a famine of food, a scarcity of harvest, right? And I will break. So it's the Lord saying he's breaking the staff thereof, right? But he's doing it through men. And it says, and will send, he said, and will send famine upon it and will cut off man and beast from it. I have read articles previously. Not only are men, people being affected by it, but also cattle. It's a famine for cattle feed and stuff like that. So the famine is here. The Lord himself, like I said, he's breaking the staff of bread. It's Yahweh Bashim Shai that's doing these things, right? Controlling man. It's a verse 14, here's the point. Though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, right? These three men symbolizes who? The elect, right? Though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, they should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness, saith Yahweh Shema Shai power. So again, they should deliver. We're in it. They should deliver but their own soul. So like we always say, you got to work out your own salvation in fear and trembling. Hey, I can't. We like I said, we've been set up to give you a warning, but I can't save you. Yeah, we preach you the word, how about you, so that your soul may be saved. But at the end of the day, it's up to the Lord to save you. I can't save myself. I can't save the brothers in my camp. I can't save the brothers in Chicago, Boston, wherever the case may be. I can't save them. But it's up to Yahweh Bashim Shai. But and doing the things that he command for you to do and serving him in sincerity and truth, making your giving diligence to make your call and election sure, hey, you put yourself in a good position to receive salvation, right? But like I said, by their own righteousness, said Yahweh Shemashai. So yeah, you gotta work out your own salvation, fear and trembling. So hey, it's best for you to do the things that you can do so you don't get caught up in this famine or in these things that's gonna be coming to the earth. Let me see. Like I said, I don't want to make it too long. Salakia. Like I said, our Lord, you know, he even said it himself. Let's get in the red letter. Matthew chapter 24, verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be what? Famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes, in diverse places. Let's get famines, right? Which I know it goes back to, is it Limos? Yeah. Yep, Limos. It says, through the idea of destitution, a scarcity of food, dearth, famine, hunger, scarcity, harvest, famine. So that, yeah, when you say it's a shortage, it's a lack, these people starving to death because they ain't got food, that's a famine. That all goes back to what? Prophecy, right? And yes, they have happened in times past, as this or the case may be, but they have not have been happening at the precedence that they happen right now, at the high volume that they have in now, right? They haven't been happening like this. Like, so those pestilence going on everywhere ain't been happening like this. Those earthquakes in diverse places, especially. And then nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom, especially. You get what I'm saying? Like, it ain't been happening. Yeah, you can say, well, that happened before time past, but not how has it been upticked in these times right now. And that's the scripture say, all these are the beginning of sorrow. So, hey, man, perilous times are coming. Sorrowful times is coming. But if you don't have the hedge of Yahweh Shemashai, by all means, man, it's going to be bad for you. Trust and believe that. It ain't gonna be no, man, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna figure something out. No, you're not. If you don't have the protection of Yahweh Shemashai on your side, you are going to fall. You will not succeed. You will starve to death, you'll get killed, you get trampled, hit by a missile, hit by a laser beam, whatever the case may be. But in this time, in this state right now, as we're speaking on a part of this article, man, you're gonna die by famine. You're going to wither away and perish. Just like the scriptures say what? One of my favorites in regards to this. Lamentations 4. Start at verse 8. Well, Salaki verse 9. It says, they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. I'm going to read that again. They that be slain, right? So they that be killed with the sword. Get killed by, get shot, stabbed, whatever, any type of killing instrument. They say they are better. It's better for you to die that way than they that be slain with hunger, for you to be hungry and withered away and messed up out here. Because they say, well, these pine away, right? They deteriorate, stricken through for the want of the fruits of the field. I'm hungry, I need something to eat. Oh, wait, this nigga done bought up on the farmland. Oh, wait, they saying I can't get this unless I get, the Nicaragua. I can't do this, I can't do that. You get what I'm saying? You're going to wither away when you in these times of famine, right? It's a and they say what? And this gonna come, and it's gonna come to pass again, because like it happened to us before, it's gonna happen again. There's no new thing under the sun. It says the hands, because it is called Jacob's trouble, right? But not only Jacob gonna be in trouble, man, everybody that's on the entire inhabited earth is gonna be in trouble, right? But it's mainly to it's Jacob's trouble, right? It says the hands of the pitiful woman have sodden, right? Sodden means to cook. They boiled their own children. Like, man, we have nothing to eat. Oh, well, we about to cook Sally today. We gonna cook little Jimmy. That's what that's yeah, well, we gonna eat your son. You gonna eat your son tomorrow. That goes back to the Book of Kings. That actually happened. Well, we gonna eat my son today, we gonna eat yours tomorrow. Then the woman, she hid her son away. Yeah, like this is gonna come back. Cannibalism is gonna come back. It already has been. It's gonna come back in in the broader sense. It says, in this time to come. It says, they were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people. Right? So your meat at that time period is gonna be what? Significant others, shit, your dog, shit, you may have to eat some nails, glass, whatever the case may be, but at the end of the day, no matter what you eat, what you find for nourishment, if the Lord wants you to die by famine, it's gonna come a point in time where you ain't gonna be able to find nothing, or you're not gonna have the energy to even get up to get anything. You gonna wither away and die. Starving. Hungry. Right? And to finish it off, I got this right here. This is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach chapter 40. I'm gonna start Verse 8. Such things happen to all flesh, both men and beasts, and that is sevenfold more upon sinners. Peep this. Death and bloodshed, strife, sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and the scourge. What are these for? Verse 10. These things are created for who? The wicked. Right? These things are created for who? 2/3 of Israel. These things created for who? Ammon, Moab, Ishmael, Edom, so forth, so on. Just the heathens, just to give you understand. All those that are considered wicked. It's created for the 2/3 of the heathens. That's what these things are created for. And for their sakes came the flood. Y'all's the reason why the flood came. And y'all, the same spirit's coming back and gonna get caught again. That same flood that's gonna come at the end all be all. The ultimate flood was being from the nuclear fire, from the thermonuclear warheads and the concentrated laser beams by Yahushua and the holy angels from the chariots. That's the next flood you're gonna be caught up in. But as the point scripture say, what these things are made, these things are created for wicked. So jumping back up, death and bloodshed, strife, sword, calamities, famine, tribulations, and the scourge. So these things are created for those who are wicked. These things are created for those who forsake Yahweh Shemashai, those who want to trust in Yahweh Shemashai, those who don't want to conform to the ways of Yahweh Shemashai, those who don't want to listen to the men of Yahweh Shemashai. Right? These, those who remain without this wisdom knowledge of truth, those the one who remain in the congregation of the dead, don't want to receive this, and the Lord don't wake you up. Hey, well, guess what? These things are, made for you. You know what I'm saying? So those who strive against the Lord. So like I said, I didn't want to make this too long. Definitely, Lord willing, this lesson, it's edifying to the sincere Aquatham out there listening. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, the honor to our apostles and elders at Great Millstone, who rule well, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect that push this great gospel in sincerity and truth. Shalom, Yasha Allah, Abide, Babal.